One day I feel alright. The next I'm looking for the light, for the light, for the light. I don't wanna wait for everything to change, then it'll be too late to relive yesterday. I have to live right now.
Hello babes. It was just a really lovely morning, and honestly we're gonna have to start adding a walk into that routine. I showed in week 1 of the Orilium vlogs that I have a new routine that I'm following, a new schedule, and I just got back on it after the party and I'm all like back on track. You know, I had to fall off a little bit for party planning, but now that I'm back on it, I'm finding new things that I need to add to it. For example, a walk really early in the morning, not later in the morning. So I'm gonna move that walk up to the first thing that we do in the morning. I saw this Instagram reel, and I don't know how accurate or true or like how much fact that this is based on, but it said the first thing that you do in the morning to stimulate your mind is the thing that your brain is going to continuously go back to or make you go back to throughout the day for stimuli, whether that's you wake up and you immediately start scrolling Instagram or TikTok, or maybe you wake up and you eat something sugary, or you have coffee, or you stare at the TV, you talk negatively about someone. Whatever it is that got your brain going for the day is going to be the thing your mind goes back to. So what I'm trying to do with that information, because I do think that's accurate for me at least, because I've tested it a few times now, and the kid, I think it also helps with the toddler as well, is moving my body first thing in the morning. So that's taking a shower, which is cleansing myself, resetting for the day, which I think is a good one, and taking a walk before I have coffee, before I eat anything, just drinking water and walking and maybe listening to an audiobook, which are all good things for my mind and my mental health. And if my brain continuously wants to go back to movement, to going outside, to listening to books, to not eating junk food but staying hydrated instead, I think I've won. So I'm going to add that into the beginning of my schedule. I will talk more about that once I've done it, but yeah, that's kind of my plan. I'm also going to start using a physical weekly planner again. I think I've been using a digital one for quite some time now. I think it's been a few months. I do enjoy it. I still do use it and I still will use it, but I think I'm gonna just kind of flip back and forth however I feel. I have access to both, and the physical planner is undated, so I can just jump back to it whenever I want, which is so convenient. I have the Legend planner, I believe it is called. I'm a big fan of it. If I wasn't so busy all the time, I would probably just use that, but the digital one is really nice for if I need to like travel around with it. The Legend planner is pretty big and bulky and you need pens for that. The digital one is just my iPad, my little iPad, which has my books on it too, so very convenient. Anyways, the child is napping right now, and I started doing things during nap time, but I have not finished a single one of those things that I was doing. I just keep moving to a new one. We're gonna do some body doubling and you're gonna watch me finish out the dishes, because girl, I need to just crack down on that. That's what I originally started with. So let's go do some dishes. Hello siblings. The kid just woke up from her nap. We're gonna go play outside, have some snacks, read some books, you know, that kind of jazz, and then get ready for dinner time. I've actually switched up gears for audiobook listening. I just cannot find anything that matches the readathon prompts on audio. that I want to listen to or can listen to in this last week. I've started listening to The Rescue, which is the third book in the Guardians of Ga'Hoole series. I'm gonna have a whole dedicated video on that series. The books are very short children's fantasy with owls. It's super cool and it makes me happy, so I'll take it. Now that we're walking in the mornings, I do need more audiobooks to listen to, and in the summer I tend to really listen to audiobooks a lot. I don't know what that's about. I'm about halfway through The Rescue now. I listened yesterday and today. Tomorrow I have a therapy appointment at 8:30 in the morning. The grandparents are going to come pick up the kiddo while I'm gone, while she's with her daddy. Then I'm going to half the day work from home and half do chores and other things that I just want to do. Maybe I'll work on my ghostwriting stuff because I'm a little bit behind right now. Friday I am going to work in office half the day and then go pick up my kid from the grandparents' house and bring her home and make dinner. I will update you along the way if I can. If I cannot, I will see you on Monday to have a big finale for the Orilium Magical Readathon Spring Equinox. I still have 2 prompts to finish, which I would like to go over really quick. I have the one that matches your outfit, which I have a green t-shirt and a green graphic novel picked out for that, which I already showed you. Then I have a book with clouds on it, which I'm currently reading, which is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. I know I can finish these graphic novels before the end of Orilium. I have 4 days left of this readathon. I think I can do it. Let's get this. I'm gonna go get my child so we can go play outside. Hello friends. So I'm working from home today. I just moved 200 pounds of cinder blocks and 50 pounds of potting soil into my car by myself, and now I'm rewarding myself with some Chipotle. I'm off to eat. As you saw in the last clip, I got a lot done today. I am very tired. I smashed a finger. We're thriving, but we got cute dresses and that's what matters, right? I will quickly go over what I've done today and my plans for tomorrow, since I don't believe I will get to talk to you tomorrow. This morning I went to a therapy appointment at 8:30 in the morning, and then I came home and started doing house chores. I completely cleaned out the child's closet and reorganized it, reorganized all of the donations in the laundry room, and I started reorganizing her toys. I've been kind of in a process of doing that. I didn't finish it. It's going to be a big project, but I did make some good headway. Then I started 3 loads of laundry. So much laundry, it never ends. I went to Lowe's because I convinced myself if I did this thing today that I was allowed to have Chipotle for lunch. I bought 10 giant 20-pound cinder blocks. They are very heavy, and I put them in my car all by myself in my cute little outfit. I got a lot of weird looks, you know, but a cute little girl can lift some cinder blocks and 50 pounds of soil. Trust me, we're much stronger than we look. The smaller you are, the closer you are to Satan, so keep that in mind. Then when I got home, I did not unload the cinder blocks, but I did unload the soil and repotted new plants. I purchased a little lavender plant from the store that I went to and put it in the front yard. Now I'm finishing up laundry before our anniversary date night tonight. I'm very tired. I also worked from home, so in between some of those activities I had to call and schedule some stuff for a conference coming up. Yeah, I feel really productive. I got so much done today. It feels absolutely crazy that I got all of the things that I did get done in one day. Let's go take a tour of the backyard and I'll show you exactly what my plan is for back there. Sorry, it's windy. We have 3 Thai basils that I got in takeout from a Thai place. It's just like clippings that they were serving as a garnish. I took them and put them in water and they rooted. So now I have officially potted them outside. Very cute. And then my plan for the backyard is to get all these cinder blocks. I only took 2 out because they were blocking the soil, but I'm gonna line this entire thing with cinder blocks all the way. I think it's gonna take about 31. I'm not quite sure yet. I only bought 10 today. I'll have to go back. But I'm going to fill them with soil, garden soil. I got some yarrow seeds and a few others. So I got some sunflower seeds. We'll see if those take. I don't know that it's a deep enough space for them, but I figure I can just try. And then I got lavender seeds because I want to see if I can grow them. Those are toys that the kid got for her birthday. And then I got some morning glory seeds. We'll see what I end up doing with these. I love morning glories. I did buy some yarrow seeds because yarrow is so tasty and it has so many health benefits. I love drinking yarrow teas. I think growing them in our yard would be really excellent because then we could get it for free. I could dry it myself and make tea, reap the benefits, you know? And they're really pretty, so I think it'll be great. We'll see what'll grow in those cinder blocks. I'm not gonna be devastated if nothing grows or if they are stunted because it's a really tiny space. There's some broken glass and bits in that back dirt and rock area from previous tenants of this house. We did not know them. And so I need these cinder blocks to block the child from trying to go over there and other people's children from going back there. I don't want anyone to get hurt. So cinder blocks, I think, are going to be the option since they're very cheap and very heavy. They're not gonna go anywhere. So yeah, very happy with our little garden. I really just want a useful, beautiful garden. I want to help nature out, and there's nothing happening back there, and it's really ugly right now. So I hope that we can add some life to the yard and add some greenery to our lives. Gardening is really relaxing. I can't wait for the kid to see some things grow back there. She would probably love taking her little watering can and watering. So I'm hoping we can do that together this summer. We are going to Luna's Mexican Kitchen tonight, which is in Victoria Gardens. It's a little bit of a drive for us, but it's so delicious. That's our anniversary dinner that we decided on. I'm pretty thrilled for a relaxing evening. Tomorrow morning, I will be getting up early, 6 o'clock, like always, and going into the office actually for half of the day. I don't know how late I'm gonna stay, maybe 2 or 3, because I did work some today from home. After work, I will be heading out to pick up the kiddo from Nana and Papa's house. Anyways, I'm gonna go get a book and sit down and read with a coffee. I deserve a coffee after today, and I can't read without a nice drink, you know?
Time looking for the light, waiting to feel alright, feel alright, feel alright, feel alright. I don't wanna wait for everything to change, then it'll be too late. Looking for the light. I see.
We only have 3 days left of Orilium. I can't believe it either. I can't believe how quickly this readathon went by. I think it was just that busy of a month, honestly. We have a guest here today, Evie. She's been very needy the last few days. Lots of screaming and begging for food and attention. She's puked a few times. She's usually not this bad of a cat, but here we are. Anyways, as you've seen from the last clips, I have been making some excellent progress on the garden. Very excited. Do you have a garden? If you do, feel free to message me at Pragmastery on Instagram. Pictures of your garden, your plants. Do you name your plants? I name my plants, and we're voting over on Instagram for the names of my plants, and I have many, many more plants coming this summer. So follow me there if you would like to, you know, have a little input on what I name my plants. I think it helps them grow. I think it gives them a little more life. So far, we have quite a few herbs that I'm pretty happy with. We have rosemary, we have garden sage, we have Thai basil, and lavender. in addition to some succulents. I am pretty pleased with that collection, but I do not use Thai basil very much, and I have 3 of those plants. I do use mint, and I do use oregano, sage, and rosemary pretty frequently. This afternoon I plan to go back to Home Depot to get a mint plant and an oregano plant, because those are 2 herbs that I definitely will use in our kitchen situation. Lastly, we have yarrow seeds coming in the mail. I don't know that they will grow fast enough for me to be able to use them this year. That's okay, we're gonna live, we'll find out, but at least next year they'll be there. I think this little short cinder block wall situation as a planter is gonna be really cute. It's going to be an easy and cheap way to fix up this backyard that is not our backyard. We're not willing to landscape because we're not gonna live here, you know, forever. This isn't our home, we're renters, so I'm not gonna put too much effort into this yard. Those cinder blocks are heavy, but they're not permanent. Thankfully. Our roommate is picking up our Target order today, so thank you, roomie, for that, because that's one less errand I have to run. I'd really like to take my time at Home Depot before I go pick up the kiddo from Nana and Papa's. Let's talk books for a second here. I still have 2 books that I need to read for this readathon and 3 days left. So my plan is today to either get halfway through The Moth Keeper or finish it out, or to completely read this graphic novel, The Hidden Kingdom. Not quite sure which one I'm in the mood for. I am wearing green, so I could read the green one. We still have Matching Your Outfit and the one with clouds. Can't see it, there's too much of a glare. We can do this. We can do this. 2 books in 1 week, how exciting. I'm also listening to The Rescue by Catherine Lasky, which is the 3rd book in the Gahul series. Very much enjoying that, like so much enjoying that. Last night we watched Kubo and the Two Strings because I recently found out that I will be in Seattle, Washington while Laika has an exhibit up at the Museum of Modern Art in Seattle, and it will be so close to our hotel. I'm very excited. I get to go see basically like my entire childhood. I love Laika. Big fan. I'm gonna wear my Coraline shoes, my Coraline t-shirt. I'm all in. I'm all in. I don't know if it's apparent when you first meet me, but big Laika girly over here. So we watched Kubo and the Two Strings. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't have high expectations because originally when I saw the commercials for it, that kind of story just didn't call out to me for some reason. I don't really know why, but Kubo never really called out to me as a story. Coraline is like my whole personality. It's everything to me. I love everything about Coraline. There's not a single thing wrong with Coraline in my books. But Kubo, just not generally my aesthetic or my vibe. So I had really low expectations, and fortunately, it exceeded those expectations. I thought it was a really good movie. It was really well paced. It was really funny and really well animated. I mean, come on, Laika. Can do no wrong. I even teared up at some points. I thought it was really emotional. If you have a child, be warned, this movie is a little bit emotional. Also, like, if you've had any family members close to you die, be warned. A very emotional movie, and the animation and production of it just makes it all the more emotional, in my opinion. Loved the ending, personally. Husband was not as much of a fan of the movie as I was, but he's not generally into animated / claymation as I am, so that totally makes sense. He's more of an anime guy. To all their own. The last Laika movie that I have not seen is The Missing Link, I believe it's called. It's the one with Bigfoot in it. Haven't heard anything about it. Came out when I was in the busiest time of my life, so anyways, I am gonna go get lunch, go to Home Depot, and have a great day. I hope you have a great day. Hello friends, it is April 30th, the last day of Orilium. Last night, in my cozy pajamas, I snuggled up in our reading chair under a light, and it was so cozy. I finished out The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. This was very cute. I love the artwork. Very much the same style, aesthetic, messages of the Tea Dragon books, but a different cover. I think the cover is very misleading. It did not make me interested in it when I first saw this cover, but the inside of the book is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's exactly the Kay O'Neill style that you would expect. I thoroughly enjoyed the story, the messages, all of that jazz. I love the casual queerness, the casual disability representation, just all very quirky and inclusive. Big fan. Now, today is the last day. I have this book left, and that is it. I'm about to take a shower, which is why I look crusty. I'm gonna take a shower and then put on some green clothes and read this at some point today. I have a lot to do today, unfortunately. I did some meal prep this morning. I have to clean the kitchen, go pick up groceries, and then meal prep dinner for the next few days. Hello friends, it is now officially the end of the Orilium Spring Equinox Readathon, and I am heartbroken. It is bittersweet, but it does bring me just a little bit closer to the autumn equinox. I personally prefer the readathon in August. I enjoy the one in April, but April is such a busy time for me generally that I don't really feel like I have the time to participate as much. The vibes are just a little off, but in August, it's my birth month, it's Leo season, and I just feel a little more bookish that time of year. So I'm excited that this is coming to an end to bring us closer to the autumn equinox, but I'm also sad to see it over. Let's talk about everything that I read for this readathon and just do a little wrap up. For the first prompt, I did a book from the highest shelf in my house, which there's two that are the same height that are high, but one of them is my nonfiction. I'm not a nonfiction girly. I don't read a whole nonfiction book all in one sitting. I usually use them as reference. So I went to my husband's shelf, and this book, Steam Reverie in Amber, is a book that I've looked forward to reading for a while, and it's the only one on his shelf, the other highest shelf, that I have not read. This came with some beautiful tarot cards. It's basically a manga art book with a little bit of a storyboard concept inside. There are these little short chapters of interactions between this librarian slash barista and people who come to her shop at different parts in their life. It was fine. I gave this 3 stars. It was fine. A hard fine. I didn't feel any particular way about it. I thought the art was absolutely stunning, and it is. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I showed you some panels throughout in my vlog the week that I read this, so check that out if you're interested. But overall, I believe this is like a solid 3 stars. There was one chapter that I wasn't a huge fan of for the sexist spice, but otherwise, I thought that the art was really nice, and if this was a full-length novel based on the concept presented in this art book, I would read it. I would read it. It sounds very fascinating, and it's definitely a steampunk sci-fi vibe with a little bit of a fantasy touch. I'm into it. I'm into it, and I love the tarot card kind of theme going on. And then we have a book with a map. This is Wings of Fire, the graphic novel, book 2, The Lost Heir. This is children's dragon fantasy, definitely high fantasy. There are humans, but they're like a lesser species, I would say. The dragons are definitely the sentient beings in charge of this world. There's the map. It was beautifully drawn. The story was pretty good. It was not as good as the first book, in my opinion. I felt like the interactions between the main character dragon and her mother were a little unrealistic. I don't know that it made a lot of sense to me. The art is amazing. The story is compelling. It's dramatic. It's high fantasy. And I love that kids have access to this. I didn't have access to this as a kid, and I would have ate this up. So I believe I landed on a 3 out of 5 star for this one. It's good. I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to continue on with the series. I have the 3rd book for this series downstairs, and I'm currently in the middle of it while recording this video. I wanted to get this video recorded so that I could get it up as soon as possible, so I'm not quite done with the readathon yet, but it's a graphic novel. I'm gonna finish it out today. It's gonna take me 20 minutes. That is The Hidden Kingdom. I picked this book to match my green top. I'm not reading green on camera, but I promise this is green, and the book is green. That's my green book matching my outfit to the book cover. Then we have book with clouds on the cover. This is The Mothkeeper by Kay O'Neill. There is no better time in my life that this book could have landed into my hands. No better time. I just randomly saw this at the library and was shook that it was still on the shelf. I feel like this is really popular, but I guess teenagers at the high school that I go to the library for don't care about Kay O'Neill, and they are greatly mistaken. How does it feel to be wrong, high schoolers? Anyways, Kay O'Neill can do no wrong. High fantasy, inclusive as so inclusive. Disability, race, species, religion, ways of life, neurodiversity, mental wellness. Kay O'Neill, thank you. This book is high fantasy about a character who becomes the keeper of the moths for this village who lives in the desert, but they are only active at night, and there are these magical moths that were gifted, I believe, by the moon god. It's about the keeper of that, which is a really solitary life, and they want to see the daylight. Who else is going to keep the moths if they don't show up? The plots in these Kay O'Neill books are not the biggest thing ever, but that's because the art and the messages and the characters are. They're my entire heart and soul. This will touch your soul, not in a weird way. If you need a little food for the soul, for the heart, for the spirit, I highly recommend any Kay O'Neill book, especially this one if you are a night owl, or you feel a little bit distant from society, or if you feel lost in who you are, or like you're on the outskirts or you don't really have a purpose. This baby right here. Those were the books, the 4 books that I read for the prompts of the readathon, but I also did read a few other books and DNF'd another book, so let's quickly talk about those. I finished out Persephone Station. I only had like 10 pages left. Finished it out in the first few days of the readathon when I was very sick, so check out that vlog if you want to see me dying. That was adult sci-fi, space opera, first contact with aliens, heist kind of vibes. I don't know. It was really good. It was so good. It was so good. I believe I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars or something like that. It was made me cry at the end. It was so good. I also have a dedicated vlog for Persephone Station if you would like to see my thoughts on that. And then I read the first 2 books in the Spiderwick Chronicles. I'm going to make a video series about these, so you'll see my full thoughts on it another time. But just know, it's giving mid. It's giving basic. I'm just not blown away by these. As someone who read Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles recently as an adult, these do not live up to that, which is strange because that's the spin-off series, but it's okay. There's not a lot of plot. Each book is like 30 minutes of reading, and I'm not a fan of the family relationships. I'm not a fan of the parenting styles. I'm not a fan of the plot. It's fine, but I feel like the books could have been like 2 books were 1 book, and that would have made more sense. But talk about a ripoff. Everyone's freaking out about the Murderbot Diaries being short books. This has like a quarter of the plot of one of the Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles books. I'm not really sold on this series yet. Another video project that I'm working on is The Guardians of Gaul. I have read books 1 through 2 before this, and then this month I am now halfway through The Rescue, which is book 3. I'm not completely done with it as of this video, but I have, I think, 15 minutes left of the audiobook. I get the point. I'm already liking this 3rd book better than the 2nd book. Anyways, we're sitting at a 4-star for The Rescue, maybe a 3-star. I need to look back at my rating for this 2nd book, but I believe I'm gonna end up going to a 4-star because I think it's the same quality as the 1st book was. Lastly, I DNF'd The Problem Children book 1. The vibes were off. I was not a fan of the random religious references in a children's fantasy. It's urban fantasy, I think, but it's very quirky, Alice in Wonderland-y. It was very theater of the absurd, whimsical, quirky, and because of that I had certain expectations, and the random religious, specifically Christian references were a little strange to me. They seemed out of place, they felt out of place, and I personally don't like the random indoctrination of children with your religion in particular, like in subtle ways. It just seems weird that it wasn't advertised on the book if it was going to be in there. Not a huge fan, and the way that the adults talked about the children and the overall plot just wasn't really vibing with me, and I had a hard time differentiating the 7 siblings, which is a lot of perspectives to follow in such a short book. Anyways, if you like the quirky vibes and you don't mind some Christian references, I thought it was pretty good. There was nothing overtly wrong with it. I loved the farting baby. He communicates in farts, and there's footnotes about what each fart smells like and what it means. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But everything else, yeah, not for me. I DNF'd it. It wasn't sparking joy. moving on. And those are all the books that I read in April. I hope you had a great April, and I'll see you in the next one, siblings.
And the light will bring